So a grandmother last year in Philadelphia, she was 86 years old, and she got a phone call. And apparently it was her granddaughter who had been in a car accident and was now at the police station. And they needed $6,000 in cash for a lawyer right away. The grandmother heard her. She heard the granddaughter's voice very clearly. It was the same tone. It was the same way of saying mom or Gigi and all that. So she got the cash together and she handed it to a man who showed up at the door who was claiming to be a courier for the attorney. Now, hours later, she calls her actual granddaughter to check in, and the granddaughter was at work, safe and sound. She had no idea what her grandmother was even talking about. It turns out that the voice on the phone, it wasn't her granddaughter. It was actually AI, right? And an AI scammer had actually cloned her daughter's voice using a few seconds of audio that they scraped off of Instagram. Now, this is happening right now to families across this country, and the older generation has no idea what's coming for them. So today, I want to walk you through what's actually happening with elder scams in 2026. I want to talk about why AI has made them dramatically more dangerous, the 5 most common scams targeting your aging parent, and then the protective layers that every family needs to put in place this week. So my goal is by the end of this video, you'll have an actual plan, okay? Welcome to the channel. This is your first time here. Nice to meet you. My name is Winston Nwanne. I'm currently studying for my certified in long-term care designation, my Georgia life insurance license, and I'm in the process of acquiring an assisted living community right now. So I'm deep in this world every single day, the operational side, the financial side, and most importantly, the human side. And if you're caring for your aging parent or you're planning ahead for your own care, I want you to hit that subscribe button because what we're building here, I believe it's special. We're trying to cultivate a community of people who refuse to be blindsided and left unawares by the care system. Okay. Now, quick thing before we get into it. I'm not your attorney or your financial advisor, your insurance agent, your doctor, et cetera, et cetera. This content is mostly educational on major and growing threats to senior families. Okay. For specific legal and financial situations, you need to see a licensed professional in your state. Okay. Cool. Let's get into it. Well, so I think before we even do that, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this episode or talk on this specific topic is because obviously I have a lot of this this world right here in the senior care that I'm throwing myself into by doing my first deal and purchasing my first facility, and then also getting certified in life insurance and long-term care and all this stuff. I want to be able to speak intelligently to this, but most people don't actually even know this. But for my day job, my 9 to 5, I work for one of the largest AI companies in the world right now, and I'm an AI specialist. I was an AI engineer for the last, I don't know, maybe 6 years professionally. And now finally I'm an AI specialist more on the sales side for financial services. So this topic specifically hits so close to home as you can imagine. It kind of intersects both of the things that I see on a daily basis. Okay. Now we should first talk about the scale of this problem because according to the FBI, Americans aged 60 and up lost over $5 billion to digital scams in 2024. Okay, think about that, $5 billion. As a matter of fact, according to AARP, the broader estimate for elder financial crime of all kinds, this includes in-person fraud, family financial abuse, and digital scams combined, this is close to $30 billion annually. The number exactly is $28 billion annually, okay? And they're not exaggerated, and they're going up. So since 2020, the number of older adults reporting losses of $10,000 or more has increased by 4. The number of adults citing losses $100,000 or more has increased by 7x. So think about that. We have 4-fold and 7-fold increases. And I think the reason this is happening to seniors specifically is for 4 reasons, okay? The first reason, obvious, accumulated savings. Because these older adults, they have retirement accounts, they have investment income, they have home equity, they become targets because they actually have something to take, okay? The second reason is trust. The older generation, they came up in a generation where people called and they assumed that the callers on the phone are who they said that they were, and now that trust is being weaponized severely. The third reason is social isolation. I think it's at record levels right now among seniors, and a friendly voice on the phone is sometimes the only voice that they hear that day. And scammers know this and they can exploit it. And then the last reason is obvious cognitive vulnerability. So even in early cognitive decline, that's before dementia sets in, before it's fully diagnosed, judgment can be impaired for our seniors. So scammers don't need dementia to work. All they need really is a moment of stress and a sense of urgency. So what are the actual scams? There are 5 most common scams in 2026 that I want to walk you through. Okay. So number 1 is the grandparent scam. This is the one that I opened the video with. It's usually a scammer of some sort posing to be a grandchild or a child, and they're in distress. So they had a car accident, they got arrested, they need bail money, they need a lawyer. It all points to we need you to send cash now. And the hard part is that newer versions use AI voice cloning to make the calls sound exactly like the real grandchild. And it really only takes a few seconds for the audio to be gotten to make these AI clones. And that audio can come from social media, Instagram stories, TikTok, even a voice message. It's really, really hard and really, really difficult to differentiate sometimes. The second way that they're scamming is these government impersonation scams. So I don't know if you've ever seen, a scammer. They'll call claiming to be from the Social Security, Medicare, the IRS, even the police. They threaten arrest. They'll threaten loss of benefits. They claim that there's a problem with the parent's account or with the billing, et cetera, et cetera. It's actually estimated that almost $800 million was lost to government impersonation scams in 2024. That's according to the FTC. Okay. The third type of scam that we usually see is online romance scams. So this is when, a scammer will build a relationship with a lonely senior over weeks or months. Then they ask for money for an emergency. It could be a plane ticket. Hey, I need to go see somebody, or I want to come visit you. It could be, hey, I want to start this business with you. It always culminates in asking for money, right? According to the same FTC, Americans lost almost $1.1 billion in romance scams in 2024. Now, widowers and widows are particularly targeted for these. So if your parent is widowed, you want to keep a close eye on that situation. You kind of want to monitor as best as you can, not necessarily monitor, but maybe just ask, be a little bit more inquisitive about who they're talking to online. Okay. Then the fourth way is investment fraud. This is the single costliest category. Americans lost nearly $7 billion to investment fraud in 2024. Okay, so this is when scammers, they pitch guaranteed high returns, crypto, limited time investment offers, real estate. They usually build trust through long phone calls or text conversations. Usually takes months, maybe even years at some point, and then they ask for money. And then the fifth way is home equity scams. This one, it really grinds my gears personally. This is when seniors with a lot of equity in their home, but they have limited cash flow, they get targeted unfairly, right? Scammers will pose to be senior estate planners or government representatives. They push these reverse mortgages. They don't properly counsel their seniors on what's actually happening, and then they convince these seniors to pull out sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars from their home, get a mortgage on their home now they can't afford that, and it leaves them high and dry. So losses in this category run between 350 and 1.5 billion dollars, 350 million and 1.5 billion dollars annually. Now let's talk about AI specifically, because what makes 2026 different is AI. Deloitte Center for Financial Services actually estimated that AI generated fraud will reach close to $40 billion in damages in the United States by 2027. That's 1 year away. As a matter of fact, it's May right now. That's 6 months away that we're looking at potential damages of upwards of $40 billion. That's a 32% increase from where it was in 2023. And now there's 3 ways that AI is really changing for elder scams. And I want you to be aware of it so that you know what to look out for. The first way is voice cloning. So as I described before, this is when a scammer can clone a loved one's voice, usually from a few seconds of social media audio, and then they can call your parent in that exact voice. Now they have AI chatbots as well. So this can really help in the romance and investment scams, because scammers now don't have to maintain these long running conversations manually to build trust. They can just turn it over to AI to do all the chatting at scale with thousands of targets simultaneously. And then the third way is AI generated phishing emails and texts, right? These ones are grammatically perfect. Now they are able to be personalized using public data. They're essentially indistinguishable from real communication. So remember when we used to say, oh, look for typos, look for weird grammar, look for misspellings. That doesn't work anymore. Now, if you're sitting here and you're realizing that your parent is genuinely at risk and you don't have a plan, that's exactly why we put together our free planning guide. Okay. It walks you through the protective steps that every family needs to take, including elder care, fraud prevention. All right. Comment guide below. I'll send it directly to you, or you can grab the link in the description. So this is the kind of preparation that pays for itself the moment it prevents one bad phone call. Even though this is a free resource, I promise you, you will find the value in it. Okay. Now, the 4 protection layers every family needs. Very, very simple. The first one, you need a safe word. Pick a word that only your immediate family knows. Something very random, not your dog's name, not your mother's maiden name, not the street you grew up on. Something that will never show up in any data breach anywhere because you literally just made it up, right? Look at the wall, and whatever the paint on your wall is in your grandma's basement, pick that, okay? Tell your parent that if anyone claims or calls claiming to be a family member in trouble, they have to give that safe word before any money moves, before anything happens, okay? This single step, this would have stopped that initial example that I gave at the beginning of this video with the Philadelphia grandmother. Now, the second one, this one takes a little bit more diligence to do. It's called the 24-hour rule. I want you to train your parent to know and understand that no real emergency requires money in less than 24 hours. No real police officer, no real lawyer, no real bank, no real grandchild. Anybody demanding immediate payment is a scammer. Full stop. Okay. Now, the 24-hour rule, what I believe it does the most is it gives you time to call and check. It gives you time to verify and make sure that it's actually what it says, that who they say that they are, and what the situation is actually what it says that it is. Then the third thing that you can do is bank level protections. So now most banks will actually offer features specifically designed to protect their older customers. So transactions will be held if there's unusual activity. ACH payments will be blocked for accounts that shouldn't have any outgoing transfers. You can even set up like a trusted contact designation where the bank will alert a family member if any suspicious activity occurs, et cetera, et cetera. I want you to call your parents' bank this week, ask what protections they offer for older customers, and set them up, okay? And then the last one, this one seems probably like the easiest one that you could probably do, but it's just the conversation cadence. I want you to talk to your parent regularly about these new scam patterns, not in a lecturing way, more so in a, hey, have you heard about this one way? I do this with my mom. She's not there yet. My mom is still young. She's a spry chicken, but sometimes, she falls victim to some of the AI videos on TikTok. And sometimes you just have to remind them that like the world is moving really fast. Sometimes I fall victim to some AI videos, right? So send them articles, send them news segments, make scam awareness part of the normal conversation. The reason most seniors get scammed is because they don't recognize these patterns, and awareness is the cheapest protection that there is. Okay. So what do you do now if you suspect a scam is in progress? Listen, hang up the phone, right? Don't argue, don't explain, just hang up. If you want to verify whether something is real, call back using a number that you looked up yourself from who they claim to be, not the number that they provided. Okay. Freeze any money movement. Call the bank, stop the wire transfers, cancel the pending ACH. If you got a gift card already, and gift card scams are massive. What you can do is call the issuing company. If you do it immediately, sometimes the money can be recovered. And then please report it. So 3 places that you can report it to: the National Elder Fraud Hotline, the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center, and the FTC's Report Fraud site. Okay. Now, reporting it matters even if the money is not recovered. What happens is it allows these law enforcement officers to build a case and find these scammers later on. Okay, let's land this thing here. So essentially, Americans age 60 and up, they've lost over $5 billion to digital scams in 2024. And AI is making these elder scams dramatically harder to detect, especially with voice cloning and AI generated content and communication. The five most common scams are the grandparent scam, government impersonation, romance, investment fraud, and home equity scams. And every family needs 4 layers of protection. You need a safe word. You need to understand the 24-hour rule. You need bank level protections and ongoing conversation cadences. If a scam is in progress, hang up, freeze the money, and report. Now, here's what I want you to do next. I want you to grab our free planning guide. It walks through elder fraud protection alongside the rest of our senior care planning that your family might need. If you comment guide, I'll send it directly to you, or you can hit the link in the description. Now, the phone call that can cost your family thousands of dollars is going to come. The question is whether your parent is going to be prepared for it. Once again, I'm Winston Nwanne. I want you guys to plan early, plan smart, and most importantly, take care of one another. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.